So the question is, should you keep or ditch your kit lens in order to purchase a nice, fancy, expensive lens? What's up guys, Peter Does Photography here, back with another video, and basically what I'm going to go over today is, should you keep your kit lens and upgrade your camera body, or should you upgrade the glass first? So it's a huge debate whether or not you upgrade the glass or upgrade the body. In my opinion, you should always upgrade the glass first, because you can have a crop sensor body. Any camera made within the last couple of years now is a great camera. If you chuck some really nice glass on that, like this 20-105L lens, the photos are going to look immaculate. Not to say that you can't get good photographs with a kit lens. Personally, you're just not going to get as good photos with a kit lens. So one of the things about the kit lenses that I personally don't like, and it's not a fault of the kit lens, it's built to a price, so that's why it does this, is they are variable aperture. So unlike the 24-105, which is a continuous f4 throughout the entire zoom range, the 18-55 kit lens that came, or comes rather, on like your Canon 800Ds or 750Ds, etc., all that, the kind of Rebel series of cameras, those ones will come with these variable aperture kit lenses, and they are just made of plastic, whereas the other ones are made of magnesium, and so a lot more harder wearing. I felt like if I dropped this from this height, it might just shatter into a million bits.
That is a good point.
When you're zoomed out at 18mm, it's a nice kind of, it's not big, but it's a large aperture, allowing for that more kind of bokeh. And when you zoom into 55, that then shrinks, lets less light in, so you have to then manipulate camera settings. So you can have one setting for 18mm, you're going to have a different setting for 55mm. You might have to bump the ISO, it really depends on what you're shooting. That's why these lenses are great. Again, this is an f4 throughout the entire range. I nearly threw it away there. What's good about that is, when I'm at 24mm, the aperture is still f4, and when I zoom all the way out to 105mm, it is still f4. That's the same with the 17-35 that I'm shooting on now. That's an f2.8 throughout the range, and my 70-200, that's also an f2.8 throughout the range. So the good thing about that is I can keep that consistent settings on the camera, especially when I hook it up to the 1DX. Again, I can bump ISO whatever I like, and I don't need to change any of the settings. One thing I mentioned there is build quality. As you can see with this one, it is just a black plastic. They are built to a price. I'm not expecting kind of miracles in terms of build quality, and you'll see that the mount is also plastic, whereas on the 24-105 it is a magnesium body, and again that mount is a metal mount. It's not to say that these are bad, they're in no way terrible. The glass is okay, again the zoom range is okay. f3.5 at 18, it goes all the way to f5.6 when it's at 55. So again, as you can see, it will change your settings, it'll get darker depending on if you're zooming in. You can take landscapes with these, no bother. You can take portraits with these, absolutely fine. What I probably wouldn't recommend is trying to do a wedding with the kit lens. It's maybe not the best idea. You're going to have different settings and different lighting kind of things that you're probably going to want a consistent aperture for. You're not going to have to want to bump ISO at 105mm and drop that ISO at 24. You're going to have grain, then you're not going to have grain. It's just going to be inconsistent, and you kind of want to keep that consistency. One thing to note as well with kit lenses is obviously the diameter of the filter threads, etc. as well. As you can see, this is 77mm, this I think is a 58, good guess. So you can see you're going to maybe need to buy different filters for your different lenses, whereas most of Canon's L glass is all 77mm. It means you can spend money on one filter size that you can use throughout all your lenses. You do get step up rings, but I'd rather just have the one filter size and just be able to go from there. So the basic question is it really worth spending the money on upgraded glass? 100%. Ask anybody, ask any professional photographer, they would much rather have the really nice glass, because again, I'm filming on a 750D right now. I've took some photos on a 70-200, all my Canon L glass. The photos are absolutely fantastic. I can't get this lens on the 1DX because it is an EFS mount. However, if I could, I can probably say for definite that the photos wouldn't come out as nice. You wouldn't have the kind of nice crispness and the sharpness, the contrast that the nice L glass has. That goes for any brand as well. That could be Sony shooting the kind of Sony G kind of glass, the expensive glass, or Fuji's XF glass, I'm sure it's called. Every brand has their kit lenses and every brand has their expensive glass, and it's the same story throughout. Buy cheap, buy twice. If you buy a nice glass right now, you will have that for a long time in your career. The lenses last forever. This lens, I think, when I looked it up, was about a 2007 model. Here we are in 2022, the thing still works fine. I've actually dropped this in the North Sea. I pulled it straight back out again, the lens worked absolutely fine. The camera, however, my old 800D, that didn't survive, that's dead. It won't work at all. But this did. One last thing about these expensive lenses as well, as they are weather sealed. Now you probably can't see that on the camera there, but there's a little, above that red dot, there's a little kind of rubber seal there. This just helps with weatherproofing, and obviously once you attach that to a camera that has weather sealing, like the 1DX, you could be out in really adverse conditions, snow, rain, sleet. I've actually had this in heavy rain, the camera's been soaking, the lens has been soaking, and they've been absolutely fine. I have been out in the rain with this and it did survive. It was seawater that killed it. It's just one of those things. If you're going to be out as a landscape photographer, you don't know what weather you're going to get. Check out different sites for used gear like MPB. That's where I get a lot of my used gear. So you can get these nice L glass lenses for relatively cheap nowadays, but you still are going to spend a fortune. So I'm just going to jump in here. I've moved the location, I've just moved into the living room. I actually feel like the spaces are much better. Again, you can see my lovely prints in the background there, and we have a little warm light. So, as I mentioned before, the kit lenses, etc., you're going to have a good time in them if you're going out to point and shoot. If you're going out to point and shoot, they'll be absolutely fine. One thing I haven't touched on is lenses for pretty cheap from new. So this is a 50mm 1.8. As you see, I've got it on the 1DX just now. And as I mentioned, this is a 1.8 aperture lens. So you're going to have a really large, wide aperture, letting lots and lots of light in, and you're going to get really nice, soft backgrounds. So what I've done is I've taken a photo at f1.8. And I've taken a photo at f5.6 using the kit lens. Settings are pretty much the same. So as you can see, you're going to get decent quality images as well if you know what you're doing with a kit lens. This lens is £129 new. I'm pretty sure you can probably pick it up for about £80 used. Fantastic little lens. Throw it in the bag, you don't even notice it's there, it's that small. It's a tiny little thing, as you can see. And again, this one obviously being updated nowadays has the nice metal mount. Saying that small, chuck it on the camera, you don't even know it's there. Once again, thank you very much for watching the video. Please like, subscribe, comment as well. Leave a comment if you felt like you learned something, leave a comment if you felt like you didn't learn something. All comments are welcome. If you have your kit lenses, I'm not out here saying you should go and ditch them all and buy a nice expensive lens. By no means am I saying go and spend tons of money on camera gear. That's just personally, obviously, what I've done. However, it's your choice, it's your hobby, it's your career, whichever it is to yourself. Good glass will last. Peace out.